welcome back to Modern Wife. My name is Sipho. If you are new here, please don't leave without hitting the red subscribe button so that you can be part of the modern family. As you can see, guys, today I'm so excited. Today, guys, I have a very, very special guest. I don't think she needs an introduction.
I
but
do.
For the sake of formalities, please do introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I am Sipho from Happily Ever Didibane. It's amazing to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice. Okay, guys, so I had to bring another modern wife for this conversation. So as you've already seen by the title of today's video, we are just going to talk about some of the things that we think need to remain and some of the things that we think we need to just try and toss out as far as being a modern wife or being a married person is concerned, or just marriage in general. So we're going to be talking about that today, guys. And please also don't forget to comment below what you also think needs to go and what you think needs to stay. So yeah,
let's just get going.
Let's just get straight to it. Okay. So okay, just for the sake of people that are not quite familiar with Happily Ever Didibane, just please tell them a little bit about how long have you been married, who you married to, and all of that. Because the one thing they know about me and my husband is that we've been married for 4 going to 5 years now, and we both married from the same culture, if I may call it that. So just a bit of that.
Okay, so I'm Sipho from Happily Ever Didibane. I'm married to Katleho Didibane, and we also have a YouTube channel. So we're just documenting our love journey there, just going, just fun marriage and stuff like that. We are now on our 3rd year of marriage, and so I think that's where it will be different, that I'm married into a different culture that does things very differently from mine, but luckily in my favor, they do them like in a way that like always benefits me, if I can say.
Oh wow. Okay.
So but yeah, I think that's just where I'm different, in a sense that I'm married into a completely different culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me put you on the spot then. So as far as you are concerned, what do you think? Let's start with what do you think needs to stay as far as marriage is concerned?
Oh, like in terms of now, like the family involved, or can you just the dynamics between the husband and the wife, or
everything?
I think there's a lot that, I feel like I can't really say what needs to stay and what needs to go, because I feel like people have different journeys, but I feel like what should stay is always what makes both the people involved comfortable to the best of their ability, and that can always just make the marriage journey as easy as it can be. That is like also thinking about the fact that you also marry someone's family, so in whatever decision that you guys make as a couple, sometimes you also need to consider the families involved. So I think whatever decisions, like for example LOBOLA, if I can make it an example, if you guys as a couple might believe that it is you don't want to do it, then the family might actually believe that it is important for them. So you might have to go low compromise thing of actually doing it more for the family, so that the families can create a flow between them. So I think it's very dependent, yes,
on the couple. I think again now with ilobola in particular, hey, mayihlale ilobola, guys.
Yeah. And your reasons?
I think from me, what you had said is that I think it's more about the money. It's not only in relation to the money. It's also bringing the two families involved. And when you look at some of the things that happen, like I did mention, is that my husband and I are from the same culture. And you would know that there are a lot of things. There is amabaso, there is members, so there's a whole lot of things, and those things, by the end of the entire ritual, two families have created such a strong bond over those ceremonies and everything like that. And the other thing as well is that even nayo imali lobola sort of aids in all of those ceremonies that needs to be done. So it's what really it symbolizes that I'm more happy with. not necessarily the entire value. And how I also don't think that we should, like I'm saying, I also don't think we should make it more about money to a point where abantu sebecela imoto and all of those things. But what it represents, I'm very happy with. So yeah, for me,
it makes sense because like obviously when by the time that I was getting married, I also like what I wanted to do was to ask my mother what it means for her and the family so that she can explain, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't find it important personally. But then it is when she explained, and rightfully the people that want it to go, I do understand, because I feel like sometimes the practices or the traditional practices that we get into are sometimes ruined by the people involved, because LOBOLA might, the sole purpose of it be to create ubuklobo between two families, but now what can happen is that, for example, the husband might see it as you are now an item, and then they can totally just rule over you. So I feel like that's where it's and because there's also that, because I feel like with certain people that do not want it or it's not important to them, it's just basically also avoiding that, like that ownership, that entitlement.
I think it's really trying to understand it when you sit down with your mother. It's really understanding it, because now my grandmother explained it to a point whereby she even explained inkomo nenkomo about what is this one for, what was this one for. So for example, like inkomo mama, I know there's been a lot of debates and arguments as far as it's concerned, but it's basically your husband thanking your parents for ukukhulisa. So she nailed it down to that. And for me, if we do have to take it away, I just want us to replace it with some of the things that are still gonna symbolize that. So even if we get based on what the couple decides, they like, you know what, I am not comfortable with this. I just wish that you can find something else here that's still gonna symbolize.
I do know of a couple that didn't go through the lobola negotiation route for religious purposes, but what they did do is that they the family still met. There were negotiations just without lobola, which I found to be nice. Like, okay, it takes away everything like that they don't believe in, but the actual meeting of the two families, the introductions and everything else, it still continued. So I feel like if there is something that like you say, like that's a great point. Like if there's something that you don't believe in, you might actually want to replace it with something that is still going to bring more value to your life.
Yeah, I think that's actually very nice. Well, I think now that you've mentioned that, you've made me think of something that my husband and I always talk about, and I think this is not even marriage related, but dating related. I think, and I might be generalizing, now we will only meet usposetu and I think Dala parents would even say it and be like, unless uzise inkomo. So I think that's very dangerous. What do you think?
I think it is like, okay, I understand sometimes with abazali abazali or umzali, you guys know parents. I feel like sometimes it's just them probably trying to avoid, like they know the dating route, they know that it's trial and error. You might bring this one and then it doesn't work out, so and then they bring another, you bring another one. But I do feel like it's dangerous. Now, for example, I was thinking about me. I know with my mom and I got to be very open about people that I dated. She was very open about that, and I would also like to do that with my children. Also for different reasons, for safety. Yeah. You know, things like safety. Just like also being, you can't control everything that a child does, but at least what you can do is to be involved. Like, who is your child being? But I think it is dangerous. It's very dangerous for a lot of reasons. Not in woke.
I think I agree with you, Uba Nyani, for safety. It's very, very dangerous. Nam, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want my kids, and I also understand about why Umzali will be like, I don't want to meet everyone with you. But when it's serious, when it gets to that stage, I don't think I want to meet my children's significant other. So even if it's when he has proposed, perhaps just before the whole wedding or something like that, so that I can get to know him
That's
a
the
little
time
bit
that we
better.
did our introductions, just after the engagement. I think it was a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Because when I knew that meet the parent, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I just wanted to stay away from people's families, guys. I'm here for you. Like your family will meet them later. I'm with the family. It's nerve-wracking.
It is. Namge, we didn't have that. I only met my husband's family. I think even after Ilobola.
Yeah.
After Ilobola, I think I did meet his mom at this funeral, but we didn't even greet each other because I was like, yeah, indeed, girlfriend, so I don't want us to even cross paths. But then one born and on social media, but we had never had any conversation before.
Because I think being a mom is hard.
No, it's not. But I think the other reason why I want sort of that conversation is that when you get married, is and maybe this is what happens mainly with us. There's this belief that and now it's more you having the relationship with Katleho's family and very little
of your
so I feel like I would want that before. And now the big one, which I know it's a big debate, the attire, the makoti attire. What do you think about that?
So in Kasha, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. My favorite one is Leama Concept. It's very nice. But I also feel like it comes with a lot, man. I can't really comment on like what happens when it's there, and like, okay, sometimes I feel like you would have to experience something first in order for you to know that you don't want this. But for me, I believe that it's the other way, because the only time that I wear that attire is when I am going to like a wedding, or maybe not even a family thing, hey, because there was a time where I thought that and then not just wear a dress, just wear a dress.
Wow.
And
so you can wear anything with your in-laws?
I can wear anything. And I often had to get to a point of having to tell my family, like, just like block the nose from my family, because I remember when I started going after we got married, and then every time we'd visit, I'd wear a dress, and that's because my mom was like, you know what, just wear a dress. And my mother-in-law told me to stop doing that.
Wow.
Because like, who said you must do that? So sometimes I find that I actually had to block the noise from my family in case of like Bonabayas about how things happen on that side, and they do things completely different.
Do you think we're too strict as close?
I really think that we are, guys.
Really?
Like, I think honestly speaking, I was gonna have a very big challenge.
Wow.
I was gonna have a very big challenge, because like more especially it's within the families, and I really struggle with having been told what to do. And not having the freedom and just having restrictions. It's really not nice, and it makes you not enjoy certain things. Because I believe that what my husband's family also did differently. Now we're speaking about like closer customs and how they are different. I was also given a name, a new name, but no one calls me by that name. Like we in-laws, like nobody calls me by that name. It was just a name about, okay, we're passing the tradition, but you still get to be who you are. And I liked that, because sometimes I feel like what happens in families is that when they give you the new name, they also attach a new identity to you. So they only know you as supposed to the makoti. They don't know you as supposed to before. Like they gave you the name Kamkhelo, so it would be Kamkhelo the makoti. That's the person that we know. We're not interested in knowing the person before that. So I feel like that's just what I liked about my husband's family, in terms of they did do the traditions, the customs and stuff, but I feel like they just still understand that, you know what, we are young, things have changed.
Wow.
And you can just, you know, let it be. And I don't want to like makes our relationship very much better. And it makes it very genuine with them. Like I actually enjoy going there whenever there's like an event. Sometimes I'm just like, let's go. Like I miss them. Let's go check them out.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm just like, let's go visit them. And it's because like it's family. You feel like family. You feel like you're going to your own family.
Wow, Chatelane Goli,
guys.
For me, I think the name, it's something that I think it needs to stay. But I like how your in-laws sort of did it. I think if it had to stay and be done in that manner, I would really appreciate it, and I think it definitely needs to stay, because it also it says that we recognize the person that you were before you actually got married. And in most cases, when you're giving that name, it even has a meaning to say that this is what you're here to do. Maybe they'll be like, because you are here, so it's like from here going forward and not really recognizing who you are and what you were before. So I think I really like the approach that they had with that. But me personally, I liked my name that I was given by my in-laws, because it sort of, I felt like when my mother-in-law explained it, and how, because my husband and I, our families, we had similar names, like my mom and her mom have similar name and whatever, and there's already a Spogazi in the family, so it was so confusing for them. So I really liked the name because she explained the meaning and the reason behind it, so I didn't mind it, to a point whereby I have it included on my social media platforms.
They do give nice names, yes.
I think so.
They do give nice names. And by the, like, also Kasa names are just so beautiful. That's
beautiful.
Another thing.
They are beautiful.
So they do give nice names that you're like, you know what, that's why I feel like it should stay, but maybe the conditions around it are what should change. Because I mean, I have met a lot of makotis that also like the names that they were given.
They were given,
yeah. They have nice
names. Now the other thing that you mentioned was the attire. For me, that's a definite bye-bye. That's a definite bye-bye for me, guys. And because you would know most, the closer attire is German. It's beautiful, I don't want to lie. It is beautiful, but I feel like it's not practical for daily wear. It's not functional, especially looking at when you often go to your in-laws. December, and you
guys are gonna stay for like a week or two sometimes.
Yes,
meaning every
day. And now you have to have a lot of those things, because you can't wear the same thing every day. So you have to have a lot of those. So I don't like it, because it's not functional. And the other thing as well is that when you get welcomed into a family, they would say that but yet I'm the only one who has this attire that makes me stand out from everyone else. So I don't like it. I don't mind them saying that, okay, like what your mom thought would be expected to say, you can't now wear short things. You always have to have a headgear. That I do not mind. But let it not be a specific attire, unless it's a wedding, like you mentioned. And the other thing with my in-laws, they didn't even tell me how long I have to wear that thing.
So it was forever.
I don't know. I don't know. But again, lucky for me, I don't stay there, because can you imagine if and that's what I would have to wear on a daily basis. So I don't mind. I do comply and conform when I'm there for that week. Then I know that when I'm back here, I'm back to my own clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think things are just different, because another thing that I didn't want to do when I was wearing, I was going to a wedding with my mother-in-law, I was like, let me not put on makeup, because, you know, then when I got there, labo mama, like, makeup.
Are you serious?
Yo, okay, I see it. So sometimes I feel like I should just, you know, sometimes you should just take a look and say, okay, what is acceptable? Because you also don't want to feel like the outcast, which is unfortunate, because if, for example, obviously, like, the traditional wear or like the makoti wear, it's not practical to wear it every day. But then if you don't, then it feels like it looks like you're rebelling.
When you rebel, it always looks like when
So
you are being
that.
rebellious.
There's that.
So yeah, I think just to conclude as well, I like what you said in the beginning where you were talking about the most important thing is sort of like the decisions, what you and your spouse feel like needs to go and to stay, and you guys need to make decisions based on that, because I think it also allows you guys that room to sort of have those boundaries to say this is what Sipho and Ukatleho are doing, and it also allows you guys, it gives you that freedom to be able to say, okay, this is how we're gonna do things, Tina, apparently,
because you guys are a family, it's your own family. I feel like those boundaries should always be set. But it's I feel like it's a process, man, and it's quite difficult because as you go, maybe there are certain things that you'll meet, like for example, children. That's when maybe there might be a clash in terms of they might feel like, let me say that the in-laws are saying that, okay, this is what our children do, and then maybe you don't agree with that in your family. So I feel like it's a process.
It is.
And it's a learning curve. I just feel like it needs a lot of honesty, transparency, and I feel like it needs both parties, especially the in-laws, because they would be in the party of like, or in the place of authority or wanting to authorize. Then it would just be in a space of them just being open and willing to do things the way that the couple wants them to do, and maybe in that way people can just find common ground or meet each other halfway. Like for example, if the one couple believes that what is this, like umntanakho akenzelwa imbeleko, then you guys might just sit down and discuss, okay, you know what, this is what we can do. Maybe we can just have like whatever gathering as a family.
I think that's very important, and then also it touches to some of the goals and some of the values that you would have set as a couple from the onset, because then as long as you guys then sort of agree that, you know what, this is sort of in line with some of the goals and some of the values, so that's where now your customs and your traditions now as a new family are gonna be in play, because then you would need to agree and come up with a decision as a unit. Then you would go back to your significant families and say, you know what, this is what we have agreed on. But I agree with you completely. It's a process. You can't just do it overnight, because I can just imagine nam if ekhaya ndikhule kusingisiwe, and then all of a sudden now I'm coming to my family and saying, no, we have said this. So it's really a process that really requires honesty and a lot of grace, But yeah, guys, this has been fun.
Thank you. Thank you. I learned a lot, guys.
I learned so much.
This conversation.
I learned so much, guys. I had to bring the best for the best. So if you don't know their channel, please, I will link their link in the description below. And please just go and check it out. It's a very fun channel. I love it so much. Whenever the notification hits, I'm there.
Thank you.
So I really love it. So I've learned a lot from her. I always do. So yeah, and I hope you did as well. And also please don't forget to let us know as well what you think about the video today. And if you really enjoyed this, please give it a massive thumbs up. And from us, that's it, guys. I love you so much. Bye.